Hello, everyone. Welcome to Barca News. It is September 25th, 2024, and Barcelona just pulled their seventh victory of the season. 7 out of 7 victories, 21 out of 21 points earned. It was a difficult match, but nonetheless, Barcelona emerged victorious as they had just defeated Getafe 1-0 at home. This is the post-match live analysis. We have a lot to discuss, so let's begin. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the channel. My name is Mo. This is the post-match live analysis where we analyze Barcelona matches as soon as they end and where I also get to interact with you lovely people in the chat section by reading your comments out loud, answering your questions, and getting a discussion going. This is not to be confused with the Barca News. This live podcasts where we do Barcelona news, and I also get to interact with you lovely people. And of course, the podcasts are on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. And you say, Mo, but today is Wednesday. Does that mean there's going to be a podcast? Yes, the answer is there will be a Barca News podcast as soon as this live stream ends. So I'm going to try to make this post-match live analysis as brief as possible. I know I've said that before in the past. It never happens, but I'm going to try to make this post-match live analysis as short as possible because afterwards I will do the live podcast to bring you Barcelona news because, of course, we still haven't discussed the club's news. Now, having said all that, make sure to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, drop a comment, and let's begin with the match analysis because, as you know, Barcelona just pulled their 7th victory in a row against Getafe, 1-0 at home. By the way, until the FIFA international break in October, we only have one more home match, which is the one against Young Boys in the Champions League, and then after that, it's all away matches. But today was one of those home matches where Barcelona beat Getafe 1-0. A difficult victory, a very hard-fought match where things did not go as well as we wanted them to go. But at the end of the day, Barcelona were still able to find the back of the net, and they were still able to take home 3 important points. Now, this was expected. I was not surprised to see this kind of result and this kind of match because, after all, Getafe, that's just how they play. It's a nasty, disgusting team that does not care about playing football. It's a team that just focuses on destroying. That's their style. That's always been their style under Bordalas. It's a shame. He's a shameless coach, a shameless team, and just a shameless style of play where they're not there to play football. Again, they're just there to destroy. They're there to commit fouls. They're there to hold players. They're there to push players down. They're there to fake injuries. They're there to waste time. They just want to disrupt. That's exactly what they did. Lots of disruption all throughout the match. And of course, parking the bus because, well, what else do they have in their favor? Which it's a shame, but that's what Bordalas' teams have always done. And that's exactly what Getafe did today. Barcelona tried their best to break through the defense. Barcelona tried their best to continue playing the way they know how to play, but unfortunately the disruptions did affect the team, and Barcelona did not play as good as they usually do, but nonetheless they were able to pull the victory. We had even more chances. We had that clear chance by Rafinha where he gets the ball face-to-face with the goalkeeper. He misses it. Eddie Garcia had one where he ends up clearing the ball over the goal. We also had the one that hit the post by Lamine Yamal. So nonetheless, Barcelona did generate chances. Barcelona did have a lot of chances to score many goals. We weren't able to. It was not our night. And plus, with the help of Getafe playing the disgusting football that they always do, things did not go as well as possible. But that's okay because we took home the 3 points. We won. And that was the important thing today because if you want a winning team, it has to be a team that is also able to pull through victories when things are going bad. So you want a team that obviously wins convincingly against easier opponents or against opponents or even big opponents. But when things are not going well, you also want a team that's able to find a way to solve the problem at hand and still win which that's exactly what Barcelona did. We're not always going to win 5-0. We're not always going to win, 7-0. That's not always going to happen. We're going to have difficult matches like this. And what you want of the team is to still be able to find a solution, to still be able to pull victories, even when the odds are against you, even when you're playing against a nasty team like this one, and even knowing the referee is an absolute of a joke. Now, you might say, well, Mo, how is this different than from when Xabi used to be the coach, right? Xabi used to win 1-0 all the time, 2-1. How is this different, right? You used to complain that Barcelona were always barely scraping by. How is this different? Well, it's very different, and I tell you how. Because first of all, Barcelona were consistently creating chances, consistently trying. Then they scored a goal. And after the goal, Barcelona continued until the last minute, creating chances, attacking, consistently trying to score more and more goals. It didn't work out. That's okay. It happens. Under Xabi, Barcelona used to score a goal. Done. They would pack their bags, call it a day, and it was over. Another difference is that under Xabi, when Barcelona would win these kind of matches 1-0, yes, the team would have a lot of possession, but it was pointless possession because the players would just be walking around with the ball, passing the ball side to side, passing the ball to the back. Today, under Flick, the team continued playing the same day as they always play, very vertical, constantly attacking, constantly creating chances. Again, they weren't able to convert them, but at least the team continued trying. So that's how it's different. This is a team that fought until the last minute. This is a team that had meaningful possession as opposed to meaningless possession. And it's a team that was able to solve the problem at hand, even though things were not going its way. Now, I do have to say that today's match is just another reminder that La Liga's refereeing or Spanish refereeing needs a complete overhaul from top to bottom. I think it's an absolute joke. The level of mediocrity of Spanish refereeing, we saw it today where the referees just let Getafe players do whatever they want. Every time Barcelona player would release the ball, boom, Getafe player would push him down to the ground. And because the Barcelona player didn't have the ball anymore, the referee didn't care. Marc Casado gets stepped on. The same way Ferran stepped on Girona's player, Ferran got a red card. Here, Getafe's player, nothing, not even a foul. Then Casado gets stepped on again. Same way Ferran stepped on a Girona player a week ago. Getafe player gets a yellow card. Ferran gets a red. And that's just comparing two matches. You can even compare the same fouls in this match where Barcelona player would receive a foul from a Getafe player, not a foul. Barcelona player would do the same exact thing to a Getafe player, that's a foul. I think that yellow cards ended up being the same for both teams, but you tell me, did that seem like a match where Barcelona committed the same fouls as Getafe did? Because I don't think so. But again, double standard, horrible refereeing. Actually, I shouldn't even say double standard. There is no standard. These referees just rule however they're feeling that day or however the wind is blowing. Absolute disaster of refereeing. Absolute disaster of Getafe's tactics as always. But again, Barcelona, the important thing, they were able to get the victory. 3 points, and that's 7 victories in a row. The second best start to the season in the history of the club. Before today, Barcelona were tied for third best start to the season with Pep Guardiola, with Tito Villanova, Luis Van Gaal, Johan Cruyff. But now Flick's Barcelona moves on now to the second place, second best start to the Liga in the history of the club with 7 out of 7 victories. If Barcelona win against Osasuna this weekend, then they'll be tied for the best start in the history of the club with 8 out of 8 victories. And of course, if they win the following match, then it will be the best start in the history of the club for Hansi Flick. And also Lewandowski's goal, by the way, it's the goal number 6,500 in the history of the club. So pretty cool achievement for the Polish striker who gets to, put his name on that important number, 6,500 goals. I know Messi scored the number 6,000, and he also scored the number 5,000, if I'm not mistaken. But anyways, let's look at the lineup real quick. Again, I'm going to try to make this live as short as possible so I can do the podcast afterwards. But let's look at the lineup, and then we will talk about the players briefly. But we did have Iñaki Peña in goal, replacing the injured Mark ter Stegen. Iñigo and Cubarsí as our 2 center backs. Jules Koundé and Alejandro Balde as our fullbacks. Casado and Eric Garcia in that double pivot. And then Lamine, Pablo Torre, and Rafinha in the midfield with Robert Lewandowski as our center forward or as our striker. Important mentions. Jules Koundé. Probably one of his best matches since last season. Absolutely brilliant match by Jules Koundé. He's always been solid defensively because at the end of the day, he's a center back. But today, not only did he shine defensively, he shined offensively. The way he was combining with Lamine Yamal, the way he was combining with his other teammates, the way he was making those deep runs, cutting through Getafe's defense. And plus, he did provide the assist to Robert Lewandowski's goal. Absolutely brilliant match by Jules Koundé offensively and as always defensively. And to me, he was the MVP of the match. Of course, it was given to Lamine Yamal, but to me, in my eyes, I think Jules Koundé was the MVP, which, of course, I want to hear you guys' MVP. Who do you think was the MVP of the match? Let me know in the chat section or in the comments once this video ends. Another mention, Eric Garcia, starting again in a pivot position. I thought he had good minutes. I'm not going to say he was brilliant. It's not like when you watch Marc Bernal or when you watch Marc Casado. It wasn't like brilliant minutes, but it also wasn't bad. I think he did his job and he did it adequately. He looked a lot more confident and a lot more relaxed in that position. I know last match during the first half, he looked a little bit nervous. He looked like he was trying to avoid getting the ball. It looked like he was trying to hide. Not today. He looked very confident. He looked very relaxed, defending well. And also, there was a few times where he was making those forward passes and even joining the attack. So it looks like Eddie Garcia is starting to get used to his position. Again, I'm not going to say that he was absolutely brilliant, that I couldn't believe what I was seeing. That's not what I'm saying, but I'm saying he did do a good job. He did an adequate job. And, of course, that reminds me of Andreas Christensen. Remember, when Christensen started in a defensive midfield position, he, too, was not being brilliant because, of course, how do you expect that? It's a brand new position for him. But with time, Christensen got better, and I think that's exactly what's going to happen with Eric. Did not do necessarily a brilliant job, but I think he did an adequate and a good job today. He looked better than last time, and I'm sure with more matches, he's going to get better and more relaxed, and eventually he's going to be able to own that position, which, of course, is a great thing because we do need more alternatives from the midfield. You know, we have Marc Bernal, who's out for the whole season. Casado's going to need rest. Pedri's going to need rest. Frankie's not ready yet. So it's good to know that there's another player that can cover that position when it's needed. Pablo Torre, also decent match. I think just as good as the last one. The difference is the last one he scored a goal and provided an assist. Today he didn't, but we still saw what he's capable of as far as his passes, his combinations. Today I saw him more active defensively because last match I said I like Pablo Torre. He's very dangerous offensively, but when it comes to coming back and trying to recover the ball or pressing, he's not as active. He's a little bit lazier. Not today. Today he was making runs all the way from Getafe's box back to the Barcelona area, helping with the defense. So he did improve in that area. So I did like Pablo Torre. I saw some improvement from last match. There were still some meaningful ball losses, but again, he's just starting to play again. So I think it's going to take some time for him to get better. He did get better from last match, so I'm happy with the minutes of Pablo Torre. Lamine Yamal, of course, constantly attacking, constantly creating chances, just being an absolute headache on the right. Robert Lewandowski, 7 goals in 7 matches. Absolutely brilliant. Rafinha, same as usual. Below average match. Didn't really do much besides run a lot. He did miss that one clear chance that could have been a goal, but at this point, we've all come to expect those matches out of Rafinha, so I'm not fully surprised. I was surprised not to see Ansu Fati. I thought maybe Hansi Flick would bring Ansu Fati. This is the second match that he doesn't bring him in. I don't know what's going on. Of course, no reporters asked him about it because these days reporters are just, it looks like they're just there to ask questions just because they have to, not because they want to or not because they're trying to find out the truth. They're just there like to lob a few softball questions and be like, okay, I did my job. Let's go home. I still don't know what's going on with Ansu Fati. I would love to know why he hasn't been playing more. Maybe Flick doesn't believe he's ready, or maybe these are not the kind of matches that Flick wants to play him in. After all, the Getafe match was very physical, so maybe he was trying to prevent his injury. We don't know. But that's overall my thoughts. Difficult match, tough match as expected. Getafe, it's a disgusting team with a disgusting coach who always do these kind of things. Of course, it was all allowed thanks to the horrible refereeing, but Barcelona were able to find the back of the net. Yes, it was 1-0, but that's okay. You're not always going to win by thrashings. Sometimes you will have difficult matches like these ones. And the important thing is to be able to still find a way to win those matches, and that's exactly what Barcelona did. And of course, on Saturday, we have another match against Osasuna before the Champions League match against Young Boys. Now, let's do the comment section. We'll do some comments, and then we will end the live stream because, like I said, I do have to do the live podcasts. We have news. We have to talk about the news. Tamba says, hi, Mo. Good evening. Thank you. Your good work, Tamba Jaya from Sierra Leone. Thank you, my friend, for watching and for your comment. And Barry says, I was at the game. Barca should have won like 5-0, just unlucky, but totally dominated the game. I enjoyed it. I agree with you. I think Barcelona dominated every facet of the game. They were constantly attacking, constantly creating chances. Unfortunately, it didn't work out. That's fine. We still won, and that's the important thing. Gia says, now just Osasuna and Alaves, and we break an insane record. Yes, absolutely, my friend. So let's hope that that happens. Al-Hassan says, hi, Mo, the team is too young, but they are doing good. Al-Hassan from Sierra Leone, yes, they are too young, but it seems to be that it's the young players who are doing the best, honestly. You know, we heard that excuse last season where people were like, oh, that's because there's a lot of young players. That's why it's not working out. And I'm like, what are you talking about? It's actually the young players who are doing the best. It's Lamine Yamal, it's Pau Cubarsí. It's those players who were carrying the team yesterday as opposed to the veterans who, who weren't really pulling their weight. Curtis says, I hear people complaining, but the team played with high intensity, high pressing, and very direct. Apparently, we have to win by 5 or 6 goals to be considered a good game. You know, that's unfortunately how it's always been with Barcelona fans. You know, I thought it was, like you said, the team played with high intensity, high press. They constantly attack. They constantly created chances. You're not going to win 5-0 all the time, but, you know, when you've been watching football for a year or two, that's what you start expecting. Joshua says, hi, Mo. What's going on with Ansu Fati? I'm disturbed about him not getting any minutes. Hansi Flick says he will get the best out of him. Hope all is fine with him. Vizca Barça. I don't know either. My guess is that since the Getafe match was a very physical one, he probably didn't want to risk him. You know, he just came back from injury. Probably the last thing he wanted to do is throw him out there so he can be kicked left and right by Getafe players, especially since the referees had no intention of doing anything. And Sagos said, do you think Flick's offside trap would work against a top team with players who have fast acceleration like Mbappe and Vinicius? We have slow players. Offside trap can work against anyone. It's all about executing it the proper way. Olu Shola says, hi, Mo. Great job. Love from Nigeria. We didn't see Ansu Fati. I learned Mbappe is injured. I welcome him to La Liga and not Farmers League. Yes, Mbappe is injured. He will be out for 3 weeks. And Victor says, hey, Mo, always a pleasure to see you live. I think that team identity is improving. Balde was dribbling perfectly. Eric should not start. We need to rest Lamine, and we should get rotation. Well, you're asking for Eric not to start, but in the same sentence, you're saying we need rotation. So if you want to rotate, how you expect to rotate without starting players? If you want to rotate Pedri and you want to rotate Marc Casado, who are you going to start in their place if you don't want Eric to start? AD says, hard fought, valuable win today against a stubborn, aggressive defensive team we typically struggle against. And considering how many matches played recently by us, Casado was my man of the match today. I think that was a close second for me. For me, it was Koundé. I think he was brilliant offensively and defensively, but I mean, Casado was a close second. Casado is probably the biggest breakthrough of this season. I would have said Bernal, but since Bernal has only played 2-3 matches and has been injured since, I think Casado has been the biggest breakthrough of the season. I mean, the level that he's playing at is absolutely out of this world. The way he commands the midfield, the way he sets the tempo, distributes the ball, the way he defends. I mean, this guy runs until his legs fall off, but it's purposeful running. It's not just running for the sake of running, but the way he plays is absolutely brilliant, and it looks like he's been with the first team for 20 seasons, and he just joined a few weeks ago. It's absolutely insane what Casado is doing. Victor says, Mo, I think that we should get back easy update. No, we shouldn't. Easy update is not Barca level. Evgeny says, Balde was phenomenal today, and we saw the drop down when he came off. 2 chances from Gerard Martin's zone, almost considering at the end even. Pray to God he stays fit. Absolutely fantastic player we got. I think that, I only saw 1 chance that came from Gerard Martin's flank, which was towards the end that thank God the Getafe player missed. But I think that was not necessarily Gerard Martin's fault. I think just the whole defense fell asleep. It was just like one of those moments where they lost concentration and it happened. Neymar says, yo, Mo, a subscriber since 4K subs. I'm so happy for your fast success. You deserve it 100%. That's amazing. From 4K subs. Feels like an age ago, like an eternity ago. I don't even remember when I was at 4K, but that's pretty amazing. Thank you, my friend, for your support. And Romain says, hey, FC Barcelona fans, keep up the good work, Mo. We are on a high, good vibe coming from Barbados. Thank you, my friend. Appreciate your comment. And we do have a donation. Tigran says, maybe little brother plays, but Terthon Ferran. Wait, maybe little brother plays. I don't know if I understand your comment. Are you saying that maybe Ferran's little brother plays better? If so, let me know. And Nima says, I was biting my nails every time one of ours fell to the ground. Yeah, I know what you mean. I saw Kuwarsi touch his knee, and I was like, oh, crap, no. And then he was fine. I was like, okay, thank God. Then I saw Casado fall. He wasn't getting up, and I was like, crap. And then he was fine. Then Lewandowski had a fall, and I was like, oh, crap. And then he was fine. I know what you mean. Now, every time I see one of our players on the ground, I'm just like, crap, here we go, another injury. But thank God no one was injured. And Evgeny says towards the end, and when Carlos Perez went through on goal and Iñigo stopped him. Iñigo's a beast, man. I've been saying that Iñigo was a beast this last season, and I had so many people say, bah, you have no idea what you're talking about. You have no football knowledge, blah, blah, blah. Well, look, Iñigo Martinez has proven to everybody that he's a beast, and there's a reason why Hansi Flick is fully relying on him, because this is not news, by the way. It's not like I discovered some jewel in the... No. Iñigo Martinez has been solid for the past 10 years. So when I came and said Iñigo Martinez is solid, that wasn't like, ooh, breaking news, discovered this. No. Everybody knew, everybody that watches La Liga knew that Iñigo Martinez was a solid defender. But of course, we have the loudmouths that maybe have seen 2 matches in their life, and all of a sudden they're experts, and they're like, nah, Mo, you don't know what you're talking about. Iñigo Martinez sucks. He's old. Get rid of him. No, there you go. The proof is in the pudding. And Mark says, it wasn't a good game, but it was impressive to win in a bad game. Well said, my friend. I think you hit it right on the nail. It wasn't a good game, but it was impressive to win it in a bad game. 100% agree. And that's the thing when you develop a team with an identity, a team with a system of play, a team that not only knows what to do, but continues doing what they know how to do, even in the difficult moments. And that's very important, because previous teams like Xavi, Koeman, Setien, they would start out with a plan, but when things would go bad, the plan would just go out the window and the team would just fall apart, and then everybody would start doing their own thing. Flick's team, no matter how bad things get, even in the Champions League against Monaco, losing Eric at the 10th minute, the team continued playing the same way they know how to play. They stayed compact, and they stayed playing and following the plan that they had. And today was the same thing. The refereeing was awful. Getafe, well, we know Getafe, they're disgusting. They continued, right? And not to mention, we're missing so many players due to injury, but the team continued playing the way they know how to play. And as a result, they were able to win. Was it a great game? No. Was it a beautiful game? No. But the team was able to find a response to the problem, or a solution to the problem, because they continued following the plan. All right. Hey, it says, Mo, today's actually a hard-fought victory. Such games as this makes me believe that Barca has totally changed for good. I hope so, my friend. It's looking like it. Let's hope it stays this way. But anyways, I won't bore you anymore, because I do have to do the podcast. As promised, I will do the podcast. I'll go live at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, so in about 28 minutes, because we do have to talk about the news. So if you can join me in the podcast, that would be lovely. I would love to see all of you guys there. Another victory, 3 points, difficult match, but we were able to pull it through. 7 out of 7 matches won, 21 out of 21 points earned. It's a great day. Peace, Barca, and I will see you guys in about 30 minutes.